I think it's as good a time as any to talk about the fact that Spokane has a real shot of jumping over the playoff line and displacing them. They get a huge win against Dallas Trinity over the weekend, or maybe midweek. I don't remember the date, but it was 3-0 nonetheless. In watching this game, loved what Joe Johnson did with the midfield mix here. Last week when we talked about Spokane, it was Bellata playing in the number 6 spot, really replacing Taylor Aylmer, who's been in that role all season long. This lineup put both of them in the mix and then slid forward Emma Jaskinik down into the midfield 3 with them. What that did was maximize the ability to win second balls, win knockdowns, and really dominate the transitional phase against a Dallas team that is so good about working inside out, getting through you, counterattacking. And it took about a half of play for Spokane to really get going offensively. But once they did so, it was Mackenzie Weiner again. Her combination play with Alyssa Bourgeois on that right side, absolutely stirring the drink for Spokane. This, kind of in comparison and in contrast to Brooklyn, feels like a Zephyr team that had the ideas but wasn't executing at first. But now they're clicking, they've got the chemistry. There are clearly plans A, B, and C in terms of the lineup choices, liking what I'm seeing up in Washington.
It does feel like the balance just continues to get better and better for Spokane. It was very focused, like sort of wing heavy at certain points, like especially early on, like over reliance on Ekic, I would say in particular in the first half. This team doesn't have a ton of weaknesses now, and they can get at you in a bunch of different ways, as evidenced by the fact that, Sydney Cummings too popping up with a goal off a set piece, and a nice finish too from the center back, nice controlled finish. So all of that being said, I just think to your point, John, like sort of the trajectory for Spokane is their balance is going the opposite of Brooklyn as it just continues to get better and better as the season goes on. And they are in a very, very good position right now in the second half.
Yeah, and we've got a question from trusty producer Kaylor here of, is Spokane the best team in the league right now? Kaylor thinks that we saw the process in the last half, but they're finally getting results. I think best team is strong given what we're seeing out of Carolina. But beating Dallas, that's a statement. So I'm here for it, but maybe number 2 in a competitive mix with the Ascent.
Yeah, I mean, considering the Ascent has not conceded a goal in the amount of time it takes for you to watch the Brutalist twice or 7 hours, I would still lean that Carolina Ascent is still the top team in the league right now and likely our number 1 seed.
Did you see that? This is an aside. Did you see that headline that ASAP Rocky saw the Brutalist 3 times in theaters?
And here I am. I haven't even seen it once. It's just that's my guy anywhere right on there. Streaming.
That's crazy. I can't imagine. Can you imagine watching the Brutalist 2 times back to back? Just the second one ends, it just starts over again.
Yeah, I mean, putting the brutal in Brutalist, yeah. One more result we want to get to in terms of the Super League. Sorry to our Lexington fans in the chat, as always, because Tampa Bay Sun beat them 4-1. Another impressive result for Tampa Bay. Another bit of Lexingtoning. Thoughts on maybe what's making Tampa Bay so good at this point?
I mean, I think honestly, it's been they have a strong, a lot of strong, I guess, attackers, and Natasha Flint, directness, showing just that kind of classic number 9 play. Jordan Listro, though, has been one of those players. We talked about her last week, talking about her again this week, involved in the buildup to the second goal, I think, for them. And just kind of popping up all over the place. They've got a lot of dangerous players, and they're able to beat teams both that sit back and they're able to hit teams on the counter. And it just feels like they've been able to maybe get the balance right or get the formula right this time out against Lexington and last time out against Fort Lauderdale. So a bit of momentum for Tampa Bay.
What's going to be really interesting is on April 26th, we'll have Tampa Bay traveling to Spokane to pretty much kind of determine which of these two teams that are currently outside the playoff picture is going to have the upper hand kind of going in towards the playoff picture here at the end of the year, that I really think a loss in that one for either team could very much remove them, at least temporarily, from having that kind of inside track towards the postseason.
Yeah, I think, and you sort of hinted at it, Phil. The thing for me is the diversity of the scoring. Flint has 8 goals this year. Giamona's on 7. Cecily Flo-Nielsen has 7. There isn't anybody who's going to be winning the Golden Boot. But when you've got that many options across your front line, that really forces teams to react, to overcommit to certain players, opens up space for everyone else. And of course, trusty producer Kaylor noting that they're finally finishing. Obviously, that matters. They've been getting the chances. They've been creating quite nicely all season long. Now that trio who's really leading the line is doing the job. I do want to say on the Lexington side, somewhat dispiriting to see this lineup, which features 6 players who were making their debuts after the winter break. So 6 new players you thought would be really impactful, and they're still losing games 4-1. That's got to bite. And obviously, it's a project there. We saw it on the men's side. It's taken time for them to really get good where it counts. But man, yeah, tough to take their lumps like that consistently.